Welcome back to FTC Feature. So on today's episode, we have a special episode today. So we have another team with us, Team Lakehill Bionicles, and if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, so we're just Team 14904. We're from Dallas, Texas, East Lakewood area. We've been doing robotics for 4 years now, starting with Robotics and uh, every year since.
All right, nice. So just some news within the region. So the North Texas Super Qualifiers are this weekend. So if you and from those you can then go to the regional championship. So if you've been nominated to go to the Super Qualifier, just keep in mind that they are this weekend. And also, so the regional championship is taking place on February 26th at Woodrow Wilson High School. So if you've qualified for that, keep in mind and put that on your calendar. All right. So, with that in mind, I think it's time to get into like the topics of the episode. So, right now we have a few different topics. So, first, outreach with elementary school age children. Then, we're going to talk about some 3D printed armor and decoration for robots. And then, finally, Lakehill's journey throughout the years. And I guess, first off, outreach with elementary school age children. If a team's trying to get into outreach and trying to specifically focus on elementary school age children, how would you say it's a good way to get into it?
Well, we had a very distinct advantage because we go through a kindergarten through 12th grade school. We could reach out to the elementary school kids within our own school, and that's where we started the program. And even if you don't have like an elementary school within your school, one of the things that we did is we started with grades that had siblings of current robotics members. So, for example, like 3 of the people in our team had siblings in a certain grade. So we could kind of keep a monitor on how the kids responded to the activities through there and how the teachers responded through our own siblings. So our program, basically every week we send out a little robotics newsletter to the kids. And in that newsletter, there's information about our team as a whole, kind of explain how STEM works to like that age group because they're a little bit young. So you can't exactly use too many fancy or technical terms. You explain it in a fun way that they can understand it. And then we also send them information about a famous person in STEM and a corresponding activity to go along with it. Our goal is mainly to foster like a love of STEM and an interest in it from a very young age. We
So,
I'm sorry, continue, yes.
sorry, but do you get these like students to sign up themselves for this type of stuff? And if so, like, how do you get them to like sign up and get interested in this type of thing?
Like the elementary school kids or the people who are conducting the house.
The elementary school kids, I think, is what Rithvik's saying.
Yeah.
We mostly work with their teachers. We give their teachers stuff and they pass it along.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we also come down to their classrooms and help their robotics team. They have a Lego league team.
So what do you do with these elementary school children?
So we do a variety of different activities with them. Basically, we will like send them down like kits that they can make, but with instructions, and they can make their own small STEM projects, kind of like giving them a small guided way to build their own STEM thing. So for example, we do things that focus on like the 6 simple machines. We do things that focus on like kinetic and potential energy for their age range.
So when you're designing stuff for this like age range, do you have any like tips for like that process?
All of our kits are mostly handmade. We would like research small activities to do with this age range to get an idea of like what they might like, what they might be able to do realistically. And then we would go out and buy supplies and then create the kits ourselves and send them off to their kids' classes.
Okay. And so how much success have you seen with this type of stuff?
Yeah, I had the first same question. So like, how many children, I guess, for this year alone have you, I guess, like impacted or outreached with?
There's approximately 150 elementary school kids within our school. So I could say that we've at least done something with all of those kids. And throughout the years, we've seen the kids respond very positively to these things. I mean, there will be kids that will like see the robot in the hallways and go, "Oh my gosh, that's the robot that sends us the emails." Or I've had kids like come up to like random team members and be like, "Are you on the robotics team?" Or like, "How's the robotics team doing?" So the kids seem to respond really positively to it. They seem to really like it. And I think the whole idea of like there actually being a robot that can like move around and do things is super cool to them. Because you always like see that in, like science fiction movies, but you never really think of it as something real until you see it in front of you and you're like, this is actually a really cool thing. So I mean that's at least my experience of how I've seen the kids respond positively to this whole outreach thing.
So like, what is your like driving, I guess, mission statement / like purpose with these kids?
It's mostly to instill the love of STEM within them, and if we instill that love from a young age, they'll grow up thinking that they can do things in science, and with that thought, we can hopefully eventually have more members to the robotics team and really foster that love for it.
See.
So, do you have an FLL team at your school?
We do not.
Okay. So like for us, like we do some outreach with like elementary school as well, but we mainly focus on like FLL and stuff like that, and we found that to be pretty successful as well. But is your outreach mainly focused like within your school, or have you done anything like that's more, I guess, outside or anything like that?
So we mostly started within our school, but we're working on expanding the program outside of the school right now. We want to take some of our activities and kits to Mobile Alcove. Do you know the Mobile Alcove, like the organization?
I do not. I don't think we do.
Familiar.
Do you know? No. Okay.
Okay. So basically, it is a place that provides like care and meals, and like it's kind of like a daycare organization for young children who don't have like a safe place to stay during the day, and it provides meals for them as well. So far we've been making sure that we're trying to do like a quarterly project of doing bye-bye bags, which are like little kits that like the kids take home with them, and inside there's like food in there, and it provides like a healthy meal for them for the day. So we want to do that, and we also want to start giving Vocal Outcome some of our activities and some like the STEM kits that we make for our kids. Since we've seen those work with our kids, we want to give them to Vocal Outcome as well, so they can move into their.
All right. 3D printed armor and decoration for robots. So I'm familiar with the like I guess the decoration part, like your number plates and stuff. But I've never really seen like armor and that type of thing. So I guess what's that about? I guess. Is my question.
Right. 3D printed armor.
So each year we've generally had like a standard color for the robot. This year we've tried to keep it green. More on screen numbers.
Yeah.
This year we've tried to stick with like a green. And each year we try to give the robot like a personality. We name it after a Bionicle. We look into like the Bionicles lore. And then this year our face is a little bit aggressive. And that plays off of the character from the Bionicles. And it says Grr, it's got the angry eyes. And then we also gave it a crown that we had from the previous year. The crown is kind of a staple now at this point. And then, so first it just looks cool. And then it also covers up like the nasty things that would be like wires and the hubs. And the top of it just clips on. It has these two little inset pieces. And so you just snap it on like that. And it just ends up looking pretty clean.
Okay.
So this, I guess, like mask / armor, it's Bionicles themed, correct?
Generally.
So I think, I don't know, all of our audience would know what the Bionicles are. So would you care to explain what that is, or what the, I guess, group is that?
Right. So the Bionicles were a early 2000s like spin-off of Lego, or like a child company of Lego, and they sort of had their own world surrounding a set of 6 heroes, and the 6 heroes would try to basically bring balance to their world. And it was just a pretty cool toy from a long time ago.
Where did your team like? I'm kind of curious about this, but where did you get the inspiration to like choose Bionicles as your theme? Like I know our team, we're Ravenclaw, which was based off Harry Potter, and that was just kind of something. We
don't know.
We don't really know where that came from. We just been going with it. But are y'all aware of like where you got your name?
Well, first year we were just kind of fumbling around with the name, and one of the seniors at the time, 4 years ago, was just like, yo, let's name it the Bionicles. And everybody just sort of hopped onto that and thought it was a solid idea. Sort of where we got it.
Oh wow. Because when having a theme, like for us, like usually our ENP, like our ENB and that type of stuff, we always like. I know I'm getting a bit like off topic from 3D printed stuff, but sorry,
Stops from 3D printing to notebook.
but our ENP and ENB is usually like themed around like because we're like Ravenclaw, we try and theme it around like Harry Potter sometimes. And like, do you guys do anything like that at all, or is this like something you mainly like do for Robot?
We mostly do it for aesthetics, and then also having a face on the robot helps with the little kids. Like they see it and they can recognize it, and it just adds another layer of personal. Or
Our first year we had this armor on, so like had little googly eyes and a smiley face, and the kids really enjoyed seeing that. And then last year we had this armor. This is only part of it, but you can see we had teeth on it. And last year we designed our robot to look like a dragon. We put like lights in between the teeth, so it looked like it was breathing fire. But it was a really cool way for both like the kids and also like to protect the wires and to protect the cables and the hubs.
Do you decide on what Bionicle to do like before, like when you're designing the robot? Like, is that something you do? Like, when do you decide?
At the beginning of the season, we generally look up a list of Bionicles that sort of did a similar thing to the challenge of the year, and we have like a survey, and everybody on the team gets to vote for which Bionicle they want to theme the robot on. So like this year it's Lewa, which is like a jungle Bionicle, and we thought that would be nice because there's obstacles involved with the game this year.
So out of all these like 3D printed like Bionicle themed like mask/armor, which one would you say is your favorite, and would you be willing to like showcase it to us?
I would say my favorite would be last year's, because it fit really well with since last year was the game where we were launching discs, and it sort of fit really well with that because we had the disc launcher right around the mouth area, and it just looked really cool. But we can't recreate it because we have not much of that armor set left.
The armor is
Okay.
like 7 or 8 pieces.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a bunch of pieces.
Did it provide like an advantage at all? Like, did it protect the
No. Well, I guess in terms of keeping the hubs wires from getting astray, it could offer a little bit of protection, but not a whole lot.
I'm not sure there are enough places.
So do you have any other goals for this like armor going forward? Like any plans?
I guess integrating like a wire management system into it could, because you can protect the wires around the hubs, but leading into the hubs, we're working on.
Well, has this helped in like the design award? Like, is this something you talk about during judging at all?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, the judges definitely take interest in it. They asked similar questions to what you did with it, and it's definitely taken into consideration.
So it has helped in like that kind of aspect, right?
Yes.
It has definitely helped in judging, and it makes the robot very distinctive on the field as well. It makes it easy for other teams and judges and our own team members honestly to like recognize and distinguish our robot from other robots on the team, because like you can like see, oh, this is our all green robot, it's all green, or the face, it's a very distinctive face, right?
So in judging, actually, sorry, I'm kind of curious about this. Do you guys like lead with this like Bionicle theme thing, or like are you like, hey, here's a robot, and do you like? I know there's a googly eyes. Like, is it a good way to like break the ice with the judges?
It can be. Generally, because you have 5 minutes for your presentation, so we try to just squeeze as much technical info as possible. But yeah, it can be a nice lead up into it.
I know
Okay.
last year what we did, I think we shot a bagel in our launcher because we got sponsored by some bagel company. I don't remember, but we shot a bagel, and yeah, that's
Einstein Bros and bagels.
That's great.
That's so cute.
That's awesome.
Uh,
I think we were planning on filming like I think a video where we would try to shoot the bagel into someone's mouth, but no one volunteered.
and our coaches called it like a safety risk.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
so sad.
so do you have
So
any like tips when designing like I guess 3D printing like
For sure. You definitely want to have at least, so you want to measure all the dimensions beforehand, and then having a fusion file that is up to date of your robot before you make the armor really helps.
so just a quick more technical question on them. Are these printed in like PLA or
Yeah, they're
where are they
PLA.
printed in? PLA, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Generally about like 10% infill.
Mm-hmm. Rithvik, do you have any other questions, or should we move on to the next talking point, I guess?
yeah, sure. The final one is Lakehill's journey throughout the years, but I think we've talked about this a little bit. But are you guys like know about how your team was founded and that type of thing?
Yeah, so first year, our computer science teacher found out about FIRST through, I believe, another school, and she thought, wow, that was really cool. And so she introduced it to us our freshman year. We were like, yeah, that's cool. And so we hopped on, and we had a class period for it and everything, and it was great. And that year was Rover Ruckus, and it started out with, I believe, 9 of us. And I mean, we just got the ball rolling. We started out with making shirts and getting a team number. And we ordered the basic orange box of like the Rev starter kit. And I mean, just started off all rookies. Made the first basic drivetrain from the instruction book. And didn't know how to cut bars and this kind of stuff.
I'm not sure if I heard this correctly, but you guys said something like you have a class period for robotics or something like that?
We do. We have a class period, and we have had a class period for it for all 4 years.
Is it like
Nice.
a class like students can sign up for?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Oh wow! Wait, so is that? Well, actually, that's actually a great idea. I wish
Is
my
it-
school did that for sure.
So is it just like, is it counted in your grades and like GPA, or?
No, it's
Am I
an
confused?
elective, so it's not counted for GPA. But
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I see.
So are any of y'all like founding members? Like you've been here since the team like
yeah,
started?
yes, I am. I've been here all 4 years.
Oh wow, nice. Like nice. Do you got like any tips for teams that are like taking off? Like I guess starting like let's say next year maybe they're for sure this year. Anything like tips for that?
Yeah, basically, do not like leaving coding up to the last minute can be very detrimental to your performance at competition.
I think we have experience with that.
Yeah.
I think that's everyone honestly.
Yeah, we're still working on that, but that is definitely something to consider. Coding takes time, and not leaving it to the last minute definitely helps. And then just screwing things in, having a loose robot is also no fun.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I mean, I think everyone does that.
Yeah.
So you
I think since you have like 4 years, how would you say that you've seen, I guess, first, at least in the North Texas region, and like evolve, I guess? Like, what have you seen that's changed, that's stayed the same, like that kind of thing?
I guess the biggest change was the change to scoring about either last year or 2 years ago, where it was completely point-based and not win or loss. And I think that was a very positive change. And it led to like more opportunities for like gracious professionalism, which they definitely try to promote, so that if it's point-based, then you're not so much concerned about winning or losing. You're more so concerned about just performing as well as you can. And I think very
Another change that I've seen in first, I think, is just every year I'm always impressed by this how like welcoming and open other teams are to helping you. Like if you help other teams, they'll help you in return. You're never really alone. Like if you're confused about something, you can go to teams like help. Like we don't know how to do this. We have a match in a couple minutes. Like can you please help us with this? And like they'll always help you, which I think is really special and important in something like robotics, something like first.
Yeah, for sure.
So you had 9 people originally. How many people are on your team now?
15. We're maxed out.
Nice. Do you have any like I guess mentoring, shadowing programs like that, or?
We do. We've reached out to a couple graduated robotics members this year, and we have reached out to local engineers. A couple worked previously at Texas Instruments.
Nice.
So I think you said your team started out with 9 people, and I think you've also gotten more parts since then. But do you have any like, in terms of like expanding a team, like if you're trying to grow it, like get more members, like get more funding, things like that? Do you got any like advice on that?
Do y'all two want to talk about like how y'all joined, how y'all found out about it?
I'm sure. Yeah, I found out about it last year, actually. It was my first year at the school. I know that I had heard about it from some friends, especially since it's a really big part of like lower school with outreach and all of that. I definitely seen a lot around. And also with our social media, I had also learned about it through that. And that really just got me interested in it. The more I learned about it and the more I just had heard.
Nice. So like as a rookie, like how do you kind of like, if you have other experienced members on the team, how do you like kind of take a rookie and like try and
Grow them, I think is what you're saying, right?
yeah, kind of.
So originally I was pretty nervous, but the first few weeks before the game was announced, they kind of just showed us like all the basics, you know, like what program we used for coding or how to build things in Fusion or just different things that previous members or experienced members have just learned throughout the experience of competing in first. And so that was very helpful. And I think as the game was introduced, I've been more and more hands-on. I've got to experience all sorts of different aspects, whether it's coding or building or outreach or sponsors, just kind of the previous members, telling me, hey, you know, here's what you do, here's how you do it. I'm going to show you the first time, and then now you get to try, and kind of just coaching us through that. And it's been very helpful, and I've learned so much. And I think hopefully I'll be able to pass down my knowledge to the members that join next year.
All right. I think we are about out of time, actually. If you guys have anything else that you want to add, anything else, or?
I think we're good. Thank you so much for this opportunity. We really enjoyed it.
Thank you. And also, the podcast is available on we have an Instagram. It's available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So check it out there for anyone watching. And yeah, with that, I guess that's the end of the episode. Thanks for coming. Nice having you on. And
See you next episode.